With any game as large as Doors, there are bound to be plenty of rare discoveries here and there. And with the release of seeds in the recently released content update, documenting these rare events has become a whole lot easier. So I've compiled a whole bunch of seeds containing some of the rarest events in the whole game. And in this video, I'll be showing all of these unique findings to all of you guys. So with all of that being said, let's begin. First up, we have this seed, which most notably contains a fourth member of the Jeff Shop trio. You see, normally there are only 3 entities in Jeff's shop, those being El Goblino, Bob, and of course Jeff himself. However, in this seed, Louie also appears in Jeff's shop, meaning that there are 2 entities you can trade with in this room instead of 1. Now, although the true chances of Louie spawning are unknown, it's quite rare for them to appear in most rooms, so for them to actually spawn in Jeff's shop of all rooms is quite a spectacle. Although El Goblino did imply that he didn't like Louie in his dialogue because he stole his stuff, so maybe he will be kicked out of the room later on, but this is pretty cool. Moving on, the next seed I'd like to discuss is this one, which most notably spawns Shadow at Door 101. Currently, Shadow is one of the rarest entities in the whole game, with an estimated 1 out of 2,000 spawn chance in any room. So for them to actually appear at all in this run is already super rare. But that rarity is further increased when you consider how they spawned in the very first, or technically second, room of the mines. Taking into account how there are 100 rooms in the mines in total, and the chance of this happening is around 1 in 200,000, which is quite improbable. Who knew that a relatively basic looking entity who's on the screen for less than a second could be so rare? Next up, we have this seed, which is unique as it allows both Sally and Figure to coexist in the same room. You see, in this seed, Sally spawns at door 48, which means if you're quick enough, they can actually be present alongside Figure in the library, which does look pretty surreal. Sally is already a very difficult entity to encounter, so for them to be very close to Figure is quite a spectacle to witness. What I like to especially do when this occurs is to try and outrun both entities. This can prove to be quite the challenge, as not only is Sally extremely fast, but the layout of the library can be quite confusing to run around in, especially when you are outrunning 2 threats. But yeah, this seed is definitely very interesting. Speaking of Sally though, something cooler than them appearing nearby Figure is them appearing on the very first door of the hotel, which is a phenomenon that can be experienced on this seed. Upon the first door, you'll notice the lights flicker followed by a sinister chuckle. Then Sally will burst through a window and begin chasing you. Now, the actual chances for Sally to spawn in a run are unknown, but it definitely is rare for them to appear on the very first door, which makes this seed very special. I will admit though that there have been several documented seeds where Sally does spawn on door 1. However, I thought it was worth mentioning in this video as it is pretty cool. Moving on, an entity you are pretty much guaranteed to encounter in every playthrough is Ambush. However, they typically spawn very late into the game, near door 80. However, on this seed, Ambush spawns as early as door 3, making them quite an unexpected challenge which those unfortunate enough to find this seed must experience. Based on my research, the chance for Ambush to spawn increases only slightly for every new room you enter, but they max out near door 80, hence why most players encounter them there. However, on this seed, Ambush spawns super early into the playthrough, which defies all their odds, and that is pretty cool and rare. However, what may be even rarer than that is for 3 of the exact same entity to spawn in a row, and this phenomenon occurs on this seed right here. This seed is unique as Eyes is guaranteed to spawn in not only rooms 21 and 22, but 23 as well, meaning players will encounter 3 of them in a row without the use of any modifiers. Now, Eyes is a relatively easy entity to counter, and given how just opening the next door causes them to despawn, as well as how crucifying just one of these eyes removes the other ones from the game as well, this shouldn't be too much of a challenge for any experienced player to deal with. However, it definitely is interesting to see so many spawns so close in proximity to each other. Now, with all of these eyes coming at you, you may need something to defend yourself with, and what better item than the Crucifix to help you with that? On this seed right here, a Crucifix is guaranteed to spawn in the very first room you access, meaning as soon as your playthrough starts, you can already obtain the most powerful item in the entire game. Something like this occurring has got to be very rare, as not only is finding a guaranteed Crucifix a challenging feat, but for it to spawn on door 1 has got to be even more difficult to achieve. If you're one of the few lucky players to get a seed like this, your playthrough will likely be pretty easy, as now you can easily defend yourself from any threat in your way. Lastly though, the final seed I want to showcase in this video is this one, which has the unique trait of spawning Halt on door 1. Just like with Ambush, it appears that Halt typically spawns relatively late into a playthrough, at least in the hotel. So for them to actually appear this early in the run is very rare. I can say if this phenomenon happened to me, I would definitely be taken aback, as I wouldn't expect Halt to attack me as soon as I opened the very first door. Still, although this is a surprising event, it shouldn't be too difficult to handle, and it is pretty interesting. Anyways, those were 8 seeds I was able to find that harbored extremely rare events indoors. Let me know in the comments if you found other seeds with rare events, and while you're down there, also let me know which one of the seeds showcased in this video was your favorite. So, with all of that being said, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoy.